Yesterday we spent the whole day, basically, that was available, time that was available, getting this muffler dry fit and finding out what we actually need now in terms of parts. I have two choices now, and I'm going to go to the, I guess, AutoZone or Pep Boys or something, and get some 2-inch pipe. Try to get some pipe with a gradual bend in it, because I have a prefab part that I probably could use. It's a little. I want to see if I can get a better piece. And the whole idea is then if I can do this today, I won't have to make a new bracket. And that bracket that used to be a foot peg holder is rubber mounted, so that's even in my favor there too. That probably would kill off some of the vibration of the ultimate job. But overall, it looks like it's going to fit. And I have really high hopes it's going to fit. Because what it allowed me to do, I didn't take a single piece off of the original exhaust system, the bolts, the screws, everything. And I can just put that away so that the next time I want to evil twin this out or swap it out, or you never know. This is the whole thing with old motorcycles. They're constantly evolving, constantly changing. I call it evil twins. People call it insanity. You can be the judge of it. But the whole idea is, you change out the muffler on a bike, an old bike like this especially, throttle response changes, the sound changes, the mileage changes, the whole feel of the bike is different, sometimes better, sometimes worse, louder, maybe you get more tickets, maybe you get thrown in jail, who the hell knows. But it is the thing about older motorcycles that makes them a lot of fun to ride, and most of all, a lot of fun to own. The objective is, once I know that fits and I don't have to make any more modifications, and well, we don't know that yet, because I just have zip ties holding up now. And I really would like to use that original bracket, which means I have to space this back, which means I need to make a longer piece of pipe up in the front. And if I can get a very gradual bend in it, it's going to make it just perfect. But again, we're going to find out. We'll see what the AutoZone has in stock. And the old FZR has many lives. It served us well as a track bike for many years. It served us well as a bike we enjoyed owning when it was painted like a Ferrari and John Cafaro Ferrari stickers on it. It has just been a good, fun bike. It's been pretty much reliable. I'm trying to think. I think the only thing I've put into it in the time I've owned it is a fuel pump. But each one of the restorations is in its own way an evil twin. They don't stay the same forever. They're a fluid thing that's constantly changing, and I really like that. That adds a little dimension that I don't think everybody has, and I totally appreciate. So I guess the big thing is get saddled up here and get out to AutoZone. So what I want to do is pull this exhaust system off once again and take some measurements for how long I need that piece of pipe that I'm going to try to get from AutoZone. Get some dimensions. Now, on the previous video, I measured that if I want to use this bracket, I need to get that hole to line up here, which means I have to get a longer piece of pipe that goes from the header to the muffler, and I need it to have a very slight bend. But I've got a pipe with too much bend and a pipe with not enough. That's what I'm going to be looking for at AutoZone. Or I have to improvise. So what I need to have, and this piece is exactly right, except I need it to be a little bit longer if I want to use that bracket. If I want to use this piece, I have to make a new bracket. And because this is nicely mounted, I put a lot of time into making that bracket already. To make a new bracket, or to make a connector bracket like I did for the Norton, I'm trying not to have to do that. That would be my first choice. It's just easier to look around and see if I can get another piece of 2-inch pipe. What happened, Karen changed the plan a little bit today. She wants to go out just a little bit later for some of our errands, so I'll combine the AutoZone trip with that. And I thought, because I need to get that pipe before I can do anything, I have a little bit of time here, and I would just try to get some of the corrosion off of this. There's a few dents that I'd like to try to make them less obvious. This is just some 600 sandpaper. I wanted to see how this was going to clean up. Now, I'm not going to do the big final cleanup until the end of the part, until I make sure all the grinding and cutting and everything is done. But there was a lot of corrosion on this, so I assume this part was stored in a damp garage or in a fish pond or something. Who knows? Who knows? When you get parts cheap, you really can't be too fussy about it. But now, usually when you do something like this, aluminum has some kind of coating, anodizing, some kind of clear anodizing usually. And because this had like a nice buff finish, I'd like to replicate that finish. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but the first thing is to sand off all the anodizing, which usually comes right off, or whatever the coating is, the equivalent of the anodizing. And so, and especially on the parts of this that are going to be visible when you see it. So this is just one thing. 600 paper will get a lot of it off. But then I'm going to do a little experiment when the whole job is finished. Maybe with, well, I don't know. We have every grit sandpaper I think that they make downstairs. And see which finish I like. Now, my original plan was I wanted to have this look like the factory finish, which is pretty much what it looks like right now. But then have the end caps polished and this part highly polished, which of course we can do. That's not a big deal to do, but there's no point in putting any of that work into it until we know for sure that this is going to fit. And I can't wait to hear what it sounds like, number 2. Now, a lot of the scratches and a lot of the corrosion did come out right away with the 600 paper, but the final finish, when we're all done, we'll get that final finish on there and we'll see what we're going to be happy with. Another thing I can try on this is I have the 3M pads, various grades, and that little buffer for getting in corners. So that'll be a job unto itself, but that was a little bit of time well spent while we're waiting, but the next step here is to get on the road and get out to AutoZone, get some pipes. All right, before we go, she picks the tomatoes. How many we got? Oh, you got some cherry tomatoes there too. Wow. You ready to go?
Biggest tomato harvest yet.
I'll take them to AutoZone, see if they'll trade me for a muffler. Pipes. Now luckily for us, we live very near an AutoZone and we use it constantly. So I got a couple extra pieces of pipe, one with a little bend, I'm sure it's the wrong bend, and some with some flared out ends, and a piece of straight pipe, and some other junk from AutoZone. Now, this is funny, I checked the pipe with calipers. They're not even the same. So it'll be interesting to see if any of these parts are going to work out exactly the way we want. So we got some material to work with now. The only thing is I got a call from my daughter. She was riding over here with my grandson and the chain came off her bike. So old bicycles, old motorcycles, old men, and young hearts. And young bicycles. So I'm just looking at how some of these pipes would look if we were going to make our own, if we were going to make a carbon fiber muffler. It would be pretty straightforward. That wouldn't be a big deal. But this one has a bend in it. We got to account for that bend. Yeah, that looks like that would work. Might be a little loud, I don't know. So we're gonna find out. Mommy's bike, the chain came off?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, you had to push it here? Oh no. Being rescued on a road with an old motorcycle.
Yeah, she didn't have to pedal down the hill.
So while we're socializing, I'm gonna think about which piece of that pipe I need to cut up. I just need to, I've got it in my mind now, but I got plenty of material to work with. Go through the gears and make sure it's okay now. Another old motorcycle repair to a bicycle. Gotta get back to my muffler. I think what they need is a jetting change. Change the camshaft sprocket. Holy mackerel. Grandpa Wendy's bicycle repair, now in full service mode. So after several cuts, I realized I've been taking off 1/4 of an inch at a time until I get exactly the little bend. I only need that last little piece of bend. I didn't want to cut too much and then have to go backwards. Now it's always better to take a little bit less, and keep pie slice in it, because once I take too much, party's over. You can imagine the parts are red hot. Whoa. But by taking one little pie slice at a time, I should get exactly, at the end, have exactly the bend I need. I guess we're going to find out. try to get all the burrs off of this, because as it goes into that gasket, I don't want it chewing up the gasket any more than necessary. So this is an operation we may have to do over and over and over until we get this last little piece of bend as it comes out of the head at just the right angle. It's going to be time consuming and to be honest, boring. But I'm thinking we're going to be able to get it. Yeah, I think I'm within about 1/4 of an inch of having this right. I'm going to take another 1/4 of an inch off of that pipe, a little pie slice, and that should do it, I hope. Boy, I sound overconfident here, don't I? Now, by nibbling away at this 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch at a time, I don't want to go past the point where it's too short, then I won't be able to use that stock bracket. So this is all time well spent. So what I tried to get is a nice tight fit in there and kind of a trombone thing that I can hammer it in a little extra and put some slits in the end of this so that that clamp can get a better, because this is really going to be a tight fit in there. And I'm going to see if I have some of the old R1 clamps that are really powerful. They have like a 6mm screw or something that holds them in. So instead of, I don't want to have something like a hose clamp there. I want something nice and solid. So now it's time. If the worst that can happen, and if it is, I'm not even going to put it on videos, I'll take another 1/4 inch, another 1/4 inch. But sooner or later, what's going to happen is the back piece, the bolt, is going to line up right with the bracket. I'm up here now. I've got to take a little more. Once I can get the bolt in and have this all in place, I'm good to go. Now, it was a tremendous amount of fitting and fiddling and fooling, and I think we finally got it. Now, I haven't put a bolt in there, made it permanent that up. I haven't tightened the clamps, but I think we got all the pipe cuts just about right. We actually didn't even need the thing from AutoZone, but I'll put that in inventory for making patterns in the future. And now it'll be a whole separate project to get this all polished up. I really want it to be, I need to put a brushed aluminum finish on that, polish the end caps, but it's so late today that I don't think I'm going to really have time to do that. But getting this part of it done was a major thing. So one final thing before I pack it in for the day here, I want to tighten all the bolts to make sure everything is going to be acceptable. They don't need to be super tight, just hand tight is fine. Because you never know, something that when you tighten it up, maybe something's not going to fit just right. And I want to finalize what clamp is going to go in the front there. Like I said, I do have some extra clamps. And this is rubber mounted, so that's nice. That looks like it's just going to be a real nice thing. This clears the brake pedal just fine. That couldn't be any better. The bolt here and the clamp, I can make it actually so it looks nice. You get the bolt up underneath. And then I just need to figure out what clamp is going to be in the front, tighten all these things up, and I'm going to sleep well tonight. Put this aside because tomorrow is a riding day. And the next day we have to work on this, disassemble it all. I want to put that brushed aluminum finish on this. I have some ideas. I want to polish these end caps and polish the 2 pipes and the clamps. And that in itself will be a whole work day, a rainy day, or a day that, well, who knows what. In my life, you never know what's coming. But anyway, this was a pretty productive day. Now, a little free bonus here is that I can get this clamp. I'll polish that clamp, of course. That'll look nice. And I do have 2 of the R1 clamps for this joint, which looks like it's going to be perfect. This looks real good. I don't know if these joints are going to be solid, but what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of gasket sealer on them, just in case. Well, that's nice and solid. Beautiful. This was really a back and forth day. And These are the kind of days that at the end of the day, when you take a shower, you really feel like you accomplished something. Even on a fast choke, it's nice and quiet. That's exactly what I wanted. I'm sure once I get the finish on that and the polish, oh man, am I happy. The way that worked out, wow, it just couldn't have been any better. But we need a dedicated day now to do the polishing. So I hope you did enjoy the video, and we have one more day of polishing and this will be ready for a road test, and I really can't wait. This bike has evolved over 7 or 8 years into Ferrari bikes, and this bike and loud bikes and track bikes, and this is the first time I've had a quiet muffler that I can go into populated areas and not scared of doors. It'll be fun. It'll be something different. It'll be an evil twin, and that's what evil twins are all about. It'll give me the feeling that I have a new bike without having to register it, buy it, sell the old one, pay the insurance, get a new license plate, convince the wife that I don't need to be executed, the whole thing. Anyway, before I end the video, I want to thank the COVID workers. Boy, oh boy. Thank you guys. Keep us safe and continue keeping us safe until this thing is over. And again, I do hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoy making them. I enjoy sharing them. I enjoy sharing my life, my little life on the farm here with Karen and with the kids, and fixing bicycles and installing mufflers and who knows what. Every day is different. Every day I try to make different. Try to keep it from becoming a Groundhog Day life. Literally a Groundhog Day life. So, anyway, again, thanks for watching.